I see Bethel is there. I see Sistodi is there. Temba is there. Tatuma Tlanga is there. Okay. Thank you guys for the opportunity. I would like to thank Sistodi, of the founder of Seed of a Woman, who has given me this opportunity to present leadership nuggets for emerging leaders to you today. So let me greet you in the wonderful name of Jesus Christ, wherever you are. I trust that you are well today. And as we all know, we are still on level 3 of the lockdown in South Africa. And some of us are able to maneuver and move around, but some are still locked at home. So today we will address some few questions that I have been sent by the host of the group. So I trust that we will be all okay in terms of engaging with those questions. So those who just tuned in now and are wondering who is speaking, who is this young, handsome guy speaking with us today, they mustn't be surprised. This is Lihle Mkhai, the leadership coach, the mentor to the mentees, the founder of Global Leadership Coaching and Mentorship. So it started 2016. And we have mentored a lot of young people through that program. So let's continue in that fashion. So I've already acknowledged the host who has given me this opportunity to share some key insight around leadership based on the book that I've written. Most of you have a copy of that book, but we will engage through now with the book and also with the questions that have been sent to me. Now, so the first question was, what made me write the book on leadership? Wow, that's an interesting question. What made me to write a book on leadership? As we all know, especially within the African continent, we have a lot of resources, but we've got scarcity of leaders. And we have leaders who have distorted the value of leadership. And these leaders who have distorted the value of leadership have impacted the young people, have impacted the young people and our society. As we all know, everything rises and falls on leadership. That is John Maxwell. However, late Dr. Miles Monroe says nothing changes, nothing transforms, nothing improves without leadership. So I realized that there is a need for us within Africa to know more about leadership, not from the academic style of leadership, not from institutions of leadership, but to have something that will allow us to converse and understand leadership better. Now, over the years, I used to write these nuggets for my mentees as part of encouraging them, mentoring them, training them on leadership. Up until my coaches and my mentors, the likes of Dr. David Molapo, Dr. Richie Achuku, Mr. Simon Banda, and many more, who encouraged me and who inspired me and challenged me to write a book on leadership. So I collected all those leadership nuggets that I've been writing for my mentees and compiled this book. And when you have this book, you will realize that it is not just a book, it is a toolbox of leadership containing about 40 nuggets of leadership. And those leadership touch every facet or aspect of our daily lives, our interactions with ourselves and with each other. and with the organization, or in the as well as in the spaces of our influence. So writing a book gave me an ability to interact with many people, as compared to have one-on-one conversations, as compared to the people who are within my sphere of influence. However, through a book, I'm able to reach out to many people, and the book becomes the resource that will outlive me. Okay, when I die, the book will be there. And it was written for this current generation with hope that those principles, those nuggets, will reach the future generations. So if you are wondering how does the book look like, this is the book. Okay, Leadership Nuggets for Emerging Leaders. Now, why nuggets? Nuggets, we know chicken nuggets is not a big piece of chicken. A nugget is a small bite. A nugget is a small, a chopped thing or a small component. But leadership nuggets is those insights and principles that will get you to think. Now, we all know that leadership is an elusive term. It has been defined in many ways. There is no one definition of leadership. It has been defined in various ways, and it's more like beauty. We say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So you know when you see it, you know when you experience it, and you know when it's not there. But you cannot define it exactly of what it is. It is more experienced. It is more caught than thought. Okay? So let's understand that that was the background on me having to write a book on leadership. It is to help this young generation of Africa in particular to understand leadership, so that we can maximize the use of our resources. We can maximize our potential. We can maximize our governance, so that we create a better future. Okay, so that was the first question. Why did I write the book on leadership? So the second question is, what is leadership in my understanding? Okay, in my book, I define leadership as the byproduct of self-discovery and the commitment to fulfill your life purpose. Now, I say leadership is a byproduct of self-discovery. In Xhosa language, we say you are the king when you know yourself. Uyinkosi ngokuzazi. Okay? Until you know who you are, you will never be able to lead yourself, nor inspire other people to follow you. Okay? So, leadership, in my understanding, it is that byproduct of pursuing who you are, discovering who you are, developing who you are, so that you can deploy who you are. So deploying yourself, it means rendering your service to others, rendering your ability, rendering your purpose for the advancement of other people, or the equipping of other people. So that's leadership in my understanding. Leadership is also a vehicle of transformation. Leadership is also a function. Okay? It is defined by a function. It is in the doing. You don't lead based on your title. You do not lead based on your position. But when you start to function, then leadership gets activated. But what allows you to function effectively is when you know who you are, where you are, how you are, so that you can be able to move forward and inspire other people to follow you. Because leadership is not about controlling people. Leadership is not about dictating on people. But leadership, it is about advancing the cause to other people. So I hope that we are still good and you are still following. Okay, now let's understand also, when we come to leadership, leadership is what leaders do. It is the function of a leader. So what is the leader? A leader is the individual being that has accepted responsibility and accountability to change the present status quo in a way that inspire other people to contribute towards the process of change. Leaders are individuals who have taken responsibility and accountability to transform the present status quo in a way that inspires other people to follow. Leaders, they do not dictate. Leaders, they do not control people. They do not tell people what to do. They show people what to do. So we need to understand and separate between a leader and a manager and a dictator and a manipulator, all other activities or functions within our society. Leaders are those people who have discovered themselves. After they've discovered themselves, they've developed themselves. And now they start to deploy their purpose for the advancement of others. And the way they do that, it inspires other people. And those people now start to follow this leader. And this leader doesn't get satisfied on the basis that he's got followers. He or she equips these individuals who chose to validate his or her leadership and equip them in a manner that will advance, will activate their tame dreams, will nurture their neglected potential in a way that empowers these people to be better than she or he is, to go far than he or she has gone. That's leaders. That's a trueness of leadership. So it's when we see people who want to see the value and advance the value in others that we recognize they are leaders. And these people are not satisfied by just a mere status quo, but they seek to advance the status quo. They are not the maintainers of the status quo. They are the game changers. Now, we need to move to another question. The third question: do you believe leadership is for everyone and everyone is a leader? Interesting question. Everyone is born with the potential to become a leader. Everyone has a choice to accept the responsibility of leadership. Everyone is born with the potential to become a leader, and everyone has a choice to accept the responsibility of becoming a leader or a responsibility of leadership. Now, these people, when you accept that responsibility, you cease or you stop thinking about yourself and you start thinking about the future, and you start seeing that future, building on that future, inspire those who are with you in your space of influence in a manner that they desire and aspire to live in the future that you've seen. So the future that you've seen is what now we call a vision. Leaders birth vision, because a vision is the preferred picture of the future, which now a leader sees and comes back to the present. and tells those who are around him or her about that future. And that's what we call vision casting. And now you take that vision, and share it among those who are following you. And when you share the vision with those who are following you to the point that they embrace the vision, they own the vision, because the vision is what will outlive the visionary. That's leadership. Okay, so we need now to understand that we are all having that potential of becoming a leader. We all have a choice of exercising leadership. Remember, leadership is a byproduct of self-discovery and a commitment to fulfill your life purpose. Up until you are committed to that life purpose consistently, up until you have discovered who you are, then you will exercise leadership. Okay, so let's move on with that. The fourth question would be, what is the difference between a leadership and mentorship? You've heard me defining the leadership as the vehicle of transformation, as the byproduct of self-discovery. Leadership as something that changes status quo in an inspiring way. Now, what is the difference between leadership and mentorship? Mentorship is a process whereby a mentee chooses a mentor for the sake of learning from that mentor in advancing themselves. Now, a mentee activates mentorship by going to the one person or individual they believe know more, has more wisdom, more insight, more experience in a certain area, and they choose to be the students or mentees out of the experience and the wisdom and the knowledge of a mentor. And that relationship, we call it mentorship. So it is not a mentor that chooses the mentees. It is the mentees that chooses the mentor. But once the mentee chooses the mentor, a mentee has to be committed in that relationship. That is what will sustain the mentorship relationship, is when a mentee commits him or herself in learning and applying what he or she has been taught by the mentor, so that they will advance themselves. When the mentee fails to fuel that relationship by being teachable, that relationship starts to fail. So we need to understand that a mentee is responsible for choosing a mentor, because it is the agenda of the mentee. Okay? A mentee comes to you as the mentor and say, can you teach me, for example, can you mentor me on leadership? Here are the questions that I have. In responding to those questions, I would draw from my experience, my observation, my insight, my knowledge, my wisdom in addressing those questions of a mentee. Therefore, a mentee in a mentorship relationship designs the agenda, crafts the agenda of the mentorship. In leadership, a leader sees the vision, pursue the vision, and share the vision with the followers, in a way that these followers are the ones now choosing to follow a mentee, a leader. But a leader is responsible for attaining and achieving or ensuring that the vision is achieved. So the responsibility lies on a leader in a leadership context, not a follower. Because remember, we said leadership rises and fall. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Nothing improves, nothing advances, nothing gets better without leadership. Okay? So a leader now is on the steering wheel, directing the vision, directing the mission, cultivating the culture, bringing the values that needs to be followed in order to reach the vision. But in a mentorship, it's a mentee that sets the agenda based on their expectations or based on their desire of what they seek to learn. So the difference between the two: leadership, leaders are responsible; mentorship, mentee, you are responsible. Okay, so when you choose a mentor, you choose a mentor based on various reasons. Does this person know more and have more experience in the area that you desire to learn from? Okay? Does this person share the same values as you? Can this person advance you? Can they take you? Can they make you great based on their wisdom, knowledge that they will be pouring to you? Now, let me make this example. In a mentorship relationship, or we'll call it discipleship, it is the disciples that sought after Christ. They went to Christ. If you read John 1 and say, "Where do you stay?" They pursued the discipler or the mentor in that relationship. But others, out of how Christ led, out of how Christ demonstrated leadership, they got inspired to follow him. Mentees pursued him. Followers were inspired by him. So that is the difference between leadership and mentorship. In addressing question 5, do young people need leaders and mentors in their journey of life, and why? Do you need a mentor? Do you need a leader? Do I need a mentor? Do I need a leader? Of course, no doubt about that. If we are serious about activating our leadership, if we are serious of taking responsibility of leading our lives and the lives of those who are in our spaces of influence, we will pursue leaders. We will pursue mentors. As I've already explained the difference between the two. It's like you have a potential, just like a seed. A seed on the shelf will never grow. It is when a seed is planted on the ground, is isolated, is underneath the burden of the soil, that it has a chance to germinate, grow, and produce something. It is also when you and I sit at the feet of the mentor that we will be able to see and go far. Because mentors and leaders will put us on their shoulders, even if we are dwarf size. But on top of the giant, we will see far than the giant itself. Because it's the combination of their foundation. We are building on the solid foundation. And we are building a tall wall. Because the height is determined by the depth. The height of anything, how far you will go, is dependent on how far are you willing to go down. if you are not humble, you will never go up. It is those who humble themselves who get exalted, not the ones who exalt themselves, because those ones get humbled down. So we need to understand that all of us, we have this potential, but our potential, up until it's planted on the right soil, cultivated, pruned correctly, it will remain a potential. So whatever you do, whoever you are, you have the potential of becoming a leader and exercise leadership. But you need to understand that potential is what you are capable of doing, but you have not yet done it. So what you have already done is not called potential. What you have already done is the past. It's called experience. It's because you already went through it. Potential is what you are capable of doing. And if you are not putting it into action, then tough luck, my friend. You will remain an ampur, almost. You do not want to be an almost in your life. You want to finish. You want to exercise and accomplish what you have, what you are determined to accomplish with your life. So it is important that we understand that difference, and we understand that all of us, we do need mentors, we do need leaders. If we seek the wisdom to advance, look in your past to know where you've been. Look today, because today is the future of yesterday, but the past of tomorrow. Today is the future of yesterday, but the past of tomorrow. So today is called present because it's so important. It is an opportunity for you and I to correct the wrongs of yesterday and prepare for the opportunities of tomorrow. So we need to understand that. We need to cultivate our potential. We need to empower ourselves by exposing ourselves to those who are capable of mentoring and leading us. Now, moving to the sixth question. The sixth question is, how do we hold accountable those who are leading us? How do we hold accountable those who are leading us? Now, number one, part of accountability is this. You need to know who you are choosing. Before they make any mistake, the criteria has to be strict. You cannot correct the product if you have compromised on the ingredients of the product. So the quality of ingredients are important to determine the quality of the product. So whatever we do, if we appoint leaders, we need to be sure about their character and their competency. We need to be sure about their character and competency. Character speaks on their intentions and integrity, meaning integrity is the alignment of what they think, what they say, and what they do. You understand? Is the ability of what they think, what they say, and what they do. That's alignment, integration, the oneness, okay, of thoughts, of words, and deeds. At the same time, motives, okay? Not everyone is running for the position of leadership, is aspiring to equip, is aspiring to change the status quo, is aspiring to advance the status quo to be better. Some are pursuing position of leadership to manipulate, to control, and for the benefits They are not aspiring to advance. They are not aspiring to equip or make others better. So it is important that we need to understand the motives and the integration. Are they doing what they have said? Okay, that's part of integration. Okay, 2 is competence. Can they do? Are they able to produce? Okay, so it is important for every aspiring, emerging leader out there that you need to position yourself in a manner that is consistent with your character, in a manner that is aligned to your competency. So before we elect leaders, we need to ensure that the criteria is strict. We need to ensure that the criteria is followed. We need to ensure that those who are screened through the criteria are competent enough and have a good character. Because they can mesmerize us with words, they can have charisma, they can have flamboyance, they can speak well, and all those things. Those things do not define leadership, because leadership is function. It's the doing that comes out of the words inspired by what they think. So if I ask you, why do you want to be a leader? The moment you say for the benefits, for the title, for the control of people and so forth, you already failed. So we have this problem within our countries that we take people who are good in certain area and say, yeah, be the leader, like the president of some country who is a tycoon in business, and they made him the president because he was a good businessman. A good businessman may not make or necessarily make a good leader. And they are suffering the consequences of appointing someone whose motive was not aligned with the aspiration of those who elected him. So it is important that leadership has to be in place. Leadership has to be well thought. It is important that leaders have to be held accountable. Accountability comes as a result of agreement. You cannot hold me accountable to anything that I didn't agree to. It is when I agreed and we are in alignment in terms of expectations that you can hold me accountable. So if you get inside the taxi and you say nothing, and you cannot now later blame the driver for not taking you towards to your desired destination, because it's your responsibility before you climb inside the taxi to ask, where is this taxi going? And upon the destination of the taxi, you will be able to determine, is it a right vehicle to take you to where you desire to go? If it is not, then you would have missed out the purpose. You understand? You would have missed out the purpose of climbing inside the taxi, because you will be more frustrated. You will be more angrier that the driver didn't take you to where you expected. But you failed to take the first part of accountability of asking, so that you will determine whether it's a right taxi or not. It's the same thing with leaders, especially in the political sphere. We do not ask them where they are going, what are their aspirations, what are their motives, what are their intentions. We get excited with manifestos that seem to speak to our desires, but they know their own motive, that it is not to take you where you desire to go, but it's for them to gain access to the resources, through positions and titles of leadership without having a desire to influence and impact positively and advance the current status quo of other people beside themselves. So it is important, leaders, that we understand those differences and how we should hold leaders accountable. Develop a criteria, and both of you, the follower and the leader, need to agree, so that on the basis of that agreement, you will be able to hold somebody accountable. Okay, so let's move on. We close in terms of finishing our session. So we've got the last question. It's not a question, but a statement that requests me to share some leadership nuggets with you. Okay, so those who have the book, they know where are the leadership nuggets. Most of them, they have read them. Others have read these nuggets before they were even published. They didn't know that they are reading the book. They are enjoying the seed. Okay, so thank you guys. Let's go through some nuggets. I won't go through all of them because there are too many. 40 nuggets. Jeez, 40. Transformation, season of maturity, season of change. 40 years in Egypt, 40 years in wilderness, and for 40 years in the promised land. State of transition. So we all know that life starts at 40 according to other people, because at 40, that's where things start to make sense to other people, but not necessarily that life starts there. Life started before you were even born. Life started in the mind of God, and it planted you in the womb of your mother, and he gave permission to your father to be the channel in which you come through this earth. So life is older than you. So you are not the age that you claim you are. So let's go back on leadership nuggets. The first leadership nugget on the book, it says pass the baton early. It is more focusing on leaders in terms of passing the baton, passing the control. Give the leadership position to your successors within time. It's not about handing over the baton. It's not about handing over the baton late. When you see now you are dying, you are starting to give the keys to your successor, the password to your employees and all that. No, you need to pass the baton early so that you will have an opportunity of exercising leadership and mentorship at the same time. So when you hand over the baton to your successor in time, while you still have strength, you will be able to coach and counsel them, and ensuring that they are not distorting, they are not diverting from the vision. So the ultimate leader of all leaders, as we know, Yeshua, our Messiah, Jesus the Christ, passed the baton at the age of 33 and a half years. And he made an impact that people who died at 90 never made that impact. So it is important. It's not about growing old in the position. It is about handing over the baton while you can still see. So if you are a father and your son has turned 30, which is the sign, the age of authority, you hand over the reign. Hence in the Bible, you'll find that at the age of 30, sons are declared. That's when you start your sonship. You were a child before 30, but at 30, you become a son. A son is a representation of the father. So you can make certain decisions. You understand? You can make certain decisions in representing your father. Remember, you are the future of your father, and your father is your future, and you are the past of your father. So you need to glean on his wisdom. All right? So you pass the baton early. It is important that you do that as a leader, and not hold, not ungakwamandi uvike. No. You pass that baton early. 2, true leadership. True leadership is about serving people. Okay? True leadership is about serving people. It's about equipping people. It's about making your followers to become better than you have been, to go further than you have gone, to see further than you have seen. That's true leadership. Nugget number 3 says, be an influential leader. Not only negative, be a positive influencer. Okay? In what you are doing, you need to ask yourself, if there is someone out there watching your life and desiring to live your life, will you be proud if they were to live your life the way you are living your life? If your followers were to lead the way you are leading, will you be proud? Will you follow you, knowing you the way you know you? Okay, so it's important that we become positive influencers. Nugget number 4 deals with leading in the valley. Leading in the valley, it's important. Because life is ups and downs. Leading in the valley, it's warm in the valley. It's warm in the valley. However, in the valley, there are a lot of obstacles. If you are at the foot of the mountain, you will not be able to see beyond the mountain. It takes a responsible leader to climb the mountain. The more you climb the mountain, the stiff your legs become, the colder it becomes. Hence, many people prefer to stay in the valley. But you need to lead in the valley with aspirations of climbing the mountain and be on top, so that you will have a better vision, better perspective. It was when the disciples climbed with Christ the Mount of Transfiguration, they had an ability to see things in the spirit. You need to be able to take responsibility to climb the mountain in order for you to see great things. So it is important. Nugget number 5, protect and feed your mind. Remember, as the man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Or as the man thinketh in his mind, so is he. The mind or the heart is divided into 3: your emotions, your feelings, and your desires. How you feel in your mind, whatever you feel in your mind will grow, because your mind is the ground of ideas, is a fertile ground of ideas. So your words, your thoughts becomes the seed, and they get to be expressed in your words. That's sprouting through your words, and your deeds becomes the fruit of your thoughts. So be careful of what you feed your mind, and protect your mind from people who are seeking to plant negative seeds to your mind. So protect your mind. It is important. As a leader, you need to protect your mind from your followers, from yourself, and from your surroundings, so that you will keep on track and keep focus on where you want to go and what you want to finish or accomplish. Nugget number 6 is about being yourself. You cannot be a clone of somebody else. Many leaders can inspire you. Many mentors, coaches can coach you. but seek to become yourself. Remember what definition of leadership is: a byproduct of self-discovery. Be you. Otherwise, you will forever be in the second place. You will forever be in the second place if you try to be someone else that you are not. Guess what? You can mimic somebody. I can say, oh, I have fought against the white domination. I have fought and all that. Some of you you sound like. So what does that mean? When you start to say, I sound like, it means I'm not authentic. I'm not the original version. I'm not who I claim to be. So be yourself. When you are yourself, you are liberating those who are following you. You are liberating yourself from unnecessary expectation. You are unique. Do not try to be somebody else. Nugget number 7, offload the excess load. As you continue to lead, you will accumulate baggage. There is a lot. Your past will try to drown you and drain you down. The heavy burden will try to suppress you. But you need to offload the excess load. Travel light. Like if you are getting in the flight, there is a limitation of the luggage that you are permitted to enter with. Same thing with leadership. Christ said to the young rich ruler, when he says he wants eternal life, he says, go get rid of the excess load, sell so that you can enter. But he refused. As a result of refusing to get rid of excess load or luggage, he couldn't enter. Be careful that your past issues may be the excess load that will drown you. Okay, so it's important. Nugget number 8, embrace your mistakes. Come on, we all make mistakes. Okay, it's a mistake. Okay, you didn't take the right thing. So it is important that you embrace your mistakes and say, guys, I've done wrong. I missed that. I thought that, and so forth. Daily we make mistakes. The moment you think that you cannot make mistakes, the moment you start making mistakes. Okay, it is important. So nugget number 9, govern your thoughts. Again, it's aligning in the concept of protecting and feeding your mind. Govern your thoughts. Ask yourself now, what are you thinking about? And why are you thinking about what you're thinking about? And what will you do when you finish thinking about what you're thinking about? And how what you're thinking about will help you to think about what you need to think about. So be in control. Okay? Do not let the weeds, negative thoughts, take over your garden. Constantly prune, direct, govern your thoughts. Be everywhere. So it is. Okay. I think there we lost connection. So we will continue. So as I've said, there are many nuggets, and those nuggets we need to buy the book in order to get all of them. So leaders are builders. That's nugget number 11. If you aspire to lead, if you aspire to take over leadership, you need to prepare yourself to be a leader. You need to embrace building other people. Okay? And that foundation is key. Builders, they understand that there is a material that needs to be in place at a certain given time. So when you lead, you need to build. Recruit people in phases. because not everyone you start with in your leadership you will finish with. So along the way, people will people will need to understand that you will lose some people, you will gain some people, but it's part of leadership. You lead as you go, and you need certain people at a certain given time. Okay, so the last one that I will pick on is nugget 34. It says, embrace personal and leadership obscurity. So in leadership, you will find yourself lonely at times. You will find yourself alone at times. So you need to understand that loneliness and aloneness is not the same thing. You can be lonely, meaning you've lost direction in life. You can be alone in terms of the absence of other people, but you are on track in terms of what you want to achieve and what you want to fulfill in your life. So it is important that you embrace leadership obscurity. Obscurity is more, or it feels more like a seed that is buried underneath the soil. The seed will feel lonely, but over time, in the darkness of your life, in the adversary of your life or adversity of your life, that's when you will start to find strength to grow. You will develop roots. You will be powerful. You will grow. You will achieve more in life when you isolate yourself. Remember, what is rare is more important and valuable. When you start to be everywhere, ever present, sometimes absence creates the value. So it is in obscurity that you are being prepared for your promised land, for your responsibility phase in life. So let's understand that. Let's just take two of the nuggets. Direction is not destination. Okay, so as a leader, you need, or a follower, you need to understand that just because we are headed the same direction doesn't mean we're going the same destination. So it is important to ask, where are you going? To your mentor, to your leaders, where are they going? Until you know their destination, it will also help you to determine, are they in right direction to reach the destination? So leadership is quite a broad, deep, and tall, wide subject. As we said, you only know when you see it. Leadership is more caught than thought. Okay, now we are giving principles, guidance of leadership, but it's when you catch the spirit of leadership that you will pursue it, you will develop it, and you will deploy it, or deploy yourself correctly to fulfill that. So it is also nugget 39, be surrounded by greatness. Your growth is dependent on your surrounding. The environment in which you expose yourself determines the level of your growth. So make sure you are surrounded by right people. Make sure you are surrounded by right environment that will encourage you, that will develop you, that will support you to become the best version of yourself. Remove yourself from environments that are seeking to hinder your growth and your potential. Ensure that you expose yourself to greatness. And when you are in the presence of greatness, sit at the feet, keep quiet, take notes, learn, so that you will be empowered and equipped to lead tomorrow. Because leaders of tomorrow are the students of today. Christ didn't just lead at 30. He started to learn at age of 12. So what you learn today, what you read today, will determine, of your influence will determine, will you be a right leader? Will you be an effective and efficient leader to lead tomorrow? So it is important, whatever you do today, it will result to your tomorrow. Okay? So if we make mistakes today, they will bring consequences of tomorrow. So it is important that we learn, empower ourselves today so that we will lead tomorrow. Nugget number 40, the closing one. It says, I can, you can lead. Together we can lead and lead South Africa to the greatest, to be the greatest nation ever. We can lead Africa to be the leading continent across the globe. We have the potential. We have the purpose burning within us. Let's embrace the responsibility of being a leader. Let's embrace the choice of leading others. And let's acknowledge and invite accountability so that we will lead effectively. All these principles are compiled on this book, Leadership Nuggets for Emerging Leaders. It is available at bookstores. If you are in Gauteng Lifestyle Bookshops, in Lakeside Mall, it's available at the cheaper price of 180. But if you buy it straight from me, it's available at the price of 200 Rand. It comes with the bonus. We won't share the bonus now. If you want to know the bonus, order the copy of the book and let's journey through these pages as we will be in constant interaction. Remember, leadership is the byproduct of self-discovery and a commitment to a life purpose. So discover your life purpose. Learn to lead. What you learn today will equip you to lead tomorrow. Embrace obscurity. Sometimes you have to be in isolation to be equipped. Similar to Christ, he had to be in the desert or in the wilderness in order for him to lead those who were in the wilderness. You cannot lead in spaces that you have no experience. Moses had to lead and learn in the wilderness in order to lead out the Israelites. So he knew the desert, he knew the experience, he knew the challenges of the wilderness, because wilderness is where leaders are cultivated. So thank you to the host, Sis Dodi. It has been a great pleasure. It has been a privilege that you have allowed me to share these nuggets of leadership. And hopefully those who have listened or who will be listening to this live video in the future will learn more out of these nuggets, will apply them, and most importantly, they will get themselves this resource in order to equip themselves and share with those who are within their spaces of influence. And also, it is my greatest gratitude and honor to be speaking on this platform. I do not take it lightly, the privilege that you have given unto me, Sis Dodi. Much appreciated, Sis Wam. It will be rewarded. And thank you for doing this for young authors, for young leaders. We will continue also to support other authors who will be sharing their insight on this platform. So let's keep on keeping on. Let's rise to lead and be in touch. If you want to be connected, you can WhatsApp me on 079 433 6428. 079 433 6428 if you want to place an order, or if you want to find out about leadership coaching sessions, mentorship, if you want to find out about what we do to equip and empower emerging leaders. So from this platform, thank you guys. It has been a great pleasure. Bye-bye.